What do I think about paramedic programs who drop students after one failed exam? In general, I think this might be a little hardcore. I think we need to make accommodations for just life happening. Sometimes there are circumstances that are beyond a student's control that interferes with their ability to study, and we need to respect the mindset of you fail one exam, shame on you. You fail two exams, shame on me. Once a student has established a pattern of not being able to master the course material, then it's time to make a hard decision. Let's add a couple of caveats, though, because we need to explore why someone may not be passing their exams. Is it because they're not putting in the work? If they're not putting in the work and they're not responding to coaching, then yes, it's time to cut them loose. But maybe they're non-traditional learners. Maybe they have a learning disability. There may be resources out there that can help them learn at the same rate as other students. Maybe they're having trouble at home and difficulty maintaining work-life balance. There may be resources we can offer them to help them in that regard. But if it's simply a matter of not putting in the work or not possessing the ability to master the course material, a hard decision has to be made, because who are we helping by keeping these students in the program? Are we helping them? No. A lot of time is taken away from them before they are eventually dropped from the program. Or, God forbid, they make it all the way through the program and they don't pass the final exam, or they don't pass the registry or their state exam, and they've lost a year and a half and a lot of money. Are we helping patients with this practice? I think the answer is fairly obvious. If paramedic students are repeatedly failing exams, then they're playing below the paramedic Mendoza line. The Mendoza line is, in Major League Baseball, a batting average of 200, which is considered the bare minimum batting average required to play at a Major League Baseball level. So if we're allowing paramedic students to play below the paramedic Mendoza line, that means they are not demonstrating the bare minimum amount of competency in order to provide care to patients. And we have to acknowledge that most programs have policies about dropping students after one or two failed exams, but what can often end up happening is a couple of buttons are pushed, a couple of knobs are turned. Oh, that test wasn't fair, that question wasn't fair, and we end up getting these students above that paramedic Mendoza line. That's not doing them any favors, because they're still not putting in the work and or they don't possess the tools in order to establish competency in the material. But we're fighting a paradigm right now. We need butts and seats, and so a lot of programs are just conveyor belts. And the problem really comes down to two sides of a spectrum. On one side of the spectrum, we have the conveyor belt programs that just don't care. They're going to put these students on the conveyor belts and get them to the end. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have people that care way too much, and they just don't have it in them to drop these students from the program. And that does a disservice to the students, to patients, and to the system.